Hi, my name is Marco Castro, and I work with WEDCO, the Women's Housing Economic Development Corporation. We're a nonprofit in the Bronx that's trying to support small businesses, particularly during the pandemic. We're also a member of the JARC. Today, we're going to focus on building a website for restaurants using Weebly by Square. So Square is a credit card processing company. They used to sell these white little boxes that you could plug into your phone. Really, the way that they make their money is by collecting transaction fees. Here's a little white little box. But now they offer different services, including point of sales machines and more advanced, sophisticated systems for collecting payments. They recently bought a company called Weebly, which is a website builder. We're going to go to weebly.com to get started. There's a fuller video that includes information about Square and their prices and Weebly, but basically Weebly offers different packages, including a free package that we think is enough to get started. So we're going to click on the Create Your Website button and get going. It's going to ask me for my name, it's going to ask me for my email to create a password, and then finally it's going to ask me to read and agree to the terms and conditions, so please do that before signing up. And now it's going to ask me what kind of website do I want to build, a personal website, so that would be like a blog, or a business website to sell items, etc. So we're going to click Try a Square Online to build a business website. Now it's going to ask me for my business name. It asks me for my EIN, my employer identification number, so that's an optional field. It's a number that you would get from the IRS. It's also going to ask me for an estimated annual revenue. Again, that's an optional field. We can always fill that out later. And now it's going to ask me what type of business do I want to select. So we can search. I'm going to say table service restaurant. Now it's going to ask me for my address. It's going to verify my identity. And now it's going to ask me, what am I selling? So, you can sell physical items, you can sell menu items, tickets if you're doing events, donations, say you're doing a charity event, memberships, and services. For this video, we're going to select menu, but you could select multiple if you wanted to. And we're going to click continue. It's going to ask me, how do I want my customers to fulfill their orders? So shipping them to them by mail, allow pickup, allow delivery, or allow self-serve ordering. So that's that little QR code that you see everywhere now that folks can use their phone to scan and then pull up a menu. So I'm going to select all of them for my restaurant. Now it's going to ask me, what kind of website do I want? A single ordering page. So it's a very basic page with just my menu, and then folks can just kind of order through there. Or a more advanced page with with an about page and maybe my Instagram feed and all that. For this video, we're going to select the full website, but you can always choose the simpler one if you want to start that way. And it brings me to my dashboard. You can also add items directly through here. There's options to manage your orders and all that stuff. Take a closer look at how that works, but we're going to dive right in and click on the design now. It's going to give me a preview of what my website's going to look like what are the common options that I could do. So sell items for pickup or delivery, sell food or items to ship, allow reservation bookings, for example. So these are all different sections or pages that can show up on your site. You can choose them all and then delete them later. That's one way to do it. Or you can just select the ones that you think you want to use. So for example, I don't know if I really want to do this contact form, so I'm going to unselect that. And then just click the next button when I'm ready to go. And now it's asking me for a logo. I'm going to click to search on my computer, and then we can look for a logo. The slider lets me make it smaller or bigger, depending on how I want. And now I can click the next button. And it lets me select basic colors. What is my primary color that I want for my buttons, for example? What is the font that I want to use throughout the site? And now I click Finish. And we can start making more edits. It's going to bring up this pop-up screen telling me to select a domain. So it gives you three options. The one at the bottom is the default, and that's the free domain included with your free website. So that it would be a square.site domain, and then you can change the subdomain, that first part. So maybe I'll change that to Marco's Burritos Bronx.square.site and click the change button to make that update. The top two options let you do a custom domain name. So that'd be like a .com or a .net or something like that. You could register it through Square, or you could register it somewhere else like GoDaddy or Google. The thing to note here is that that option is only available if you do a paid plan. And I think right now the cheapest paid plan is about $6 a month. You can also register a domain through Google and GoDaddy and then have that redirect your site to your Square domain name, your free domain name. So that way you only have to pay the basic annual registration fee for the domain. We don't think it's such a big deal anymore. Now there's all kinds of domains, .info, .nyc, .planning. Like there's so many different domain now that I think that's less important than it used to be. You can also use a QR code, so when you print it on your menus, folks can just scan it and then like it opens up the menu on their screen. So there's ways around it, but you could always upgrade your plan later. Start off with a free one and then upgrade to a paid plan if you like the features that the paid one offers. We're going to click the X button and now we can start editing. So here it's going to give me a little walkthrough tutorial about things. So it's telling me that the pages, all my pages are edited through this drop-down menu up in the upper left, like that. And now it's showing me that I can add categories, for example. I can click the next button. It's telling me that I can change my fonts and styles using the site design page. And then also that I can add sections and edit sections using the page sections. So the way it works is that on the right is your preview window. This is like what your site looks like. And on the left is a menu of all the different sections on that particular page. The drop down lets you switch between pages, so you can edit all the pages in your site. You can also add additional pages. You can add items, so products. You can add story items, or you can click the add button to add sections, pages, items. So it's sort of a backup way to add your features. So let's edit the home page. It's going to ask me for my banner. If you don't want a banner, you can always hide it. You can always delete the section, but we're going to add one for this tutorial. So we're going to click the add image here, and then the drag files section over here. Now I'm going to select an image and then upload it, and that's going to become my hero image, my banner image. The next part it asks you to select is the banner headline. So now we can kind of change the font size, font color. We can change the color of button. We can select to hide the button. So this little toggle, if you switch it to the left, it hides. If you switch it to the right, it shows. It turns blue when it's showing. And anywhere you see this little chain icon, that's a selector for the button. So where is this button going when somebody clicks it? So we can click in there. It's going to bring up a pop-up window, and then we can select which page we want to show up. Finally, there's this customize section, and we can select where we want our image to be in relations to our title. There's a few different options. Play around with it, see which one you like. We can click inside the box. You get this blue border showing that this is the area that we are now editing. And maybe I want to change that to burritos all day. And we're going to click done up the upper right. So the next section is that it's asking me for my featured items. So this would be where I could add new menu items. So to add a new item, I just double click in here. It's going to ask me to create a menu item. So these are just placeholders, just so that you can see what it might look like. We're going to click the create a menu button, and then I'm going to create a sample item. So I can add the name, the title, the price, the description. So this might be where we add our ingredients. So we can add our images by clicking the plus sign. And then we can select how we want things to be fulfilled. So right now by default it's saying in-store pickup only. We could also do local delivery. To do that we have to click on the more options button. And now it's going to give me more selections that I can do. So we can make edits here. So maybe it's on sale. We can do local delivery and self-serve ordering. We can select how long it would take to make this burrito. So what's the average time before somebody can come in? Can select to collect or exempt tax. We can do our nutritional information. We can add our variations. So maybe this is good for an item, like changes in sizes or colors. So maybe a large shirt versus a small shirt. And then we can add our modifier. So that would be like if we wanted to allow folks to select their ingredients. So perhaps these are extra toppings. Maybe guacamole is an extra 50 cents. And then we click save. And now these are our toppings. There's one option, guacamole. If we need to edit that, we can click in here and then edit. And now we can add a new option. Maybe lettuce is free. Maybe we want to let people choose their protein. So maybe it's maybe beef is $1 extra. And then we can click the done button. We can add more images. And now we can hit save. So our featured item shows up now on our home page. We can add additional featured items, or we can just add items using the drop-down menu, add item. We would select a prepared food. So maybe it's hamburger. Select local pickup from the more options. I can select a temporary image. And now we hit save. So that item is going to be saved under our menus. Once we save it, it's going to bring up our specific menu item page. So this is what that would look like. We can make edits using the same system, clicking on the left. And now I can change the styles. So for example, I can make the font bigger for the title, and maybe make the price bigger. There's a different option down here to change the layout. So maybe it looks like that. Maybe you change the default colors. Play around with that until you're happy with it, and then you can publish it. Now we're going to hit done. We can use the selector to jump between pages. So maybe we go to our menu page. What does that look like? Here we are on our menu page. This is where you can upload your menu. So if you already have a menu, maybe just upload it, and then folks can download it on their device. Highlight in there where there's this little icon, and then click on the drag here to upload a PDF. And we can also visit our online order page. So this is where my menu shows up. This would be up here where it says order online, and we get our 2 items. So again, you can make some changes by clicking on the left and then making your customizations. So maybe I want to make this 1 item at a time instead of side by side. I can make changes to my announcement banner. And then finally what we're going to cover is the navigation. So I'm going to click up at the top. It's going to give me the different options. So my logo, maybe I want this to be text. It's going to give me the option to include a button. I can use the toggle switch to hide it if I want. It's going to give me the option to change my navigation, so I can drag and drop things in different places. We're going to click the publish button to make our changes live. And that's all we're going to cover in this video. If you need any help, please feel free to email us at business@wedco.org. or text us at 347-906-2335. We're trying to help businesses connect to other resources like legal support if you need to negotiate with your landlords through the CLA program, accessing grants and loans like the Paycheck Protection Program, etc. So feel free to reach out to us for support.